And this is where we are in the United States of America, because people saw fit to elect Donald Trump, who is going to do everything he can to protect this child rapist, this convicted conspirator against the most innocent among us. I know I've said this before, and I've said to prepare yourself, but it just needs to maybe be repeated again and again and again. And that is, do not despair when you learn that Donald Trump pardoned Ghislaine Maxwell, because it should be something we fully expect to happen. We're learning now from reporting from the Wall Street Journal, the Republican Wall Street Journal, the conservative Wall Street Journal, the owned by Rupert Murdoch, who owns Fox News Wall Street Journal, that special treatment, a lockdown, the regular order of the minimum security Bureau of Prisons run prison that she's in, that she should not be in because it breaks their own rules about sex offenders being in a minimum security facility. They had to lock down and change all of the operations of this prison for a special Epstein associate that came to visit Ghislaine, who left the meeting beaming with a smile because of apparent good news. What are we doing here? This is from the Wall Street Journal again. Lockdowns and a mysterious meeting. A quiet Texas prison adapts to life with Ghislaine Maxwell. Unexpected arrival of Epstein associate upset camp's routines. Some inmates say she got favorable treatment. On a weekend in mid-August, hundreds of inmates at a minimum security prison in Bryan, Texas, were locked down during their usual time for strolling the grassy campus and visiting with family and friends. All except one. Ghislaine Maxwell, the 63-year-old associate of Jeffrey Epstein, convicted for her role in helping him sexually abuse underage girls, a vile, contemptuous individual that is getting special treatment because of her connection to and proximity to power, and that power being Donald Trump being president of the United States. This was the former girlfriend and associate of the disgraced, now dead Jeffrey Epstein, the best friend of Donald Trump for 15 plus years. While her fellow inmates were confined to their dormitories after breakfast, Maxwell met with several visitors in the federal prison camp's chapel, according to people familiar with the matter. Less than 3 weeks earlier, the Justice Department had moved Maxwell to federal prison camp Bryan from a higher security facility in Tallahassee, Florida. Under Federal Bureau of Prison rules, prisoners with sex crime convictions like Maxwell's don't ordinarily qualify to serve their time in such camps. In fact, I'm not going to get to this part of the article. I would recommend you read this article. I will post it below. In fact, she has the fourth out of the 600 or so inmates in this facility. She has the fourth longest sentence of any other inmate. She is one of the worst that is being given absolute special treatment by Donald Trump. The transfer followed an interview with senior Justice Department official and former Donald Trump attorney and former Donald Trump employee, Todd Blanche, during which Maxwell said she had never seen President Trump during his long association with Epstein. Yeah, very believable. Doing anything inappropriate or illegal. Maxwell's unexpected arrival upset the camp's usually relaxed atmosphere, leading to more frequent lockdowns, the addition of armed guards, and other changes. Current and former inmates say in interviews that Maxwell appeared to receive unusually favorable treatment at times, sparking resentment from other inmates. It couldn't be determined whom Maxwell met in the chapel that day. Some prisoners heard the lockdown was needed to accommodate important visitors. David Marcus, a lawyer for Maxwell, of course, declined to comment. One inmate recalled seeing Ghislaine Maxwell, return to the Madison dormitory unit that day with a smile on her face. When that inmate asked Maxwell about the meeting, she said it went really well, but didn't share any other information. Less than a week later, the Justice Department released a transcript of Blanche's July interview with Maxwell. A spokesman for the Department of Justice, which oversees the Bureau of Prisons, also, of course, declined to comment. When the Justice Department which seemingly is proffering a deal for this convicted sex offender, when they're quiet and then her lawyers are also quiet, it should give us pause, right? On Monday, the Supreme Court declined to hear an appeal by Maxwell, leaving a presidential pardon as the only remaining legal option to avoid serving out her sentence. With credit for time served, good behavior, and other things, she is projected to be released in 2037. And then the final sentence here. Asked after the Supreme Court ruling if he would consider pardoning Maxwell, Trump said, "I'd have to take a look at it." And this is where we are in the United States of America, because people saw fit to elect Donald Trump, who is going to do everything he can to protect this child rapist, this convicted conspirator against the most innocent among us. Donald Trump's going to do everything he can to protect her, because if he does not, he could come under fire. Because then we could learn all of the dastardly deeds and crimes that he has committed against children, because he is, after all, a credibly accused rapist of children and an adjudicated assaulter of women, as we learned in the E. Jean Carroll case. And Republicans, elected especially, are here to protect Donald Trump. They are here to guard this credibly accused rapist of children and women against any consequence whatsoever. These righteous, mighty men of God, they claim. These family values Republicans are doing everything they can, pulling out every stop to protect Donald Trump. Up to and including what will likely come, I'll end where I started, and that is what will likely come being Donald Trump pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. He's talking about it. He wants everyone to know every time he's asked about it, I'm allowed to do it. I can do it. I have the right to do it. We know you do. You can do all kinds of things as president of the United States. It does not mean you should. But that's not the world we live in. And we want to deal with reality on reality's terms. I'd love to hear from you. Let's talk about it in the comments below the video, wherever you're watching it. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Please consider supporting this work, helping produce this show with me. For $2 a month, you can do just that. Become a channel member. Click the join button below the video on YouTube, or just click the join button on my channel generally. Or you can go over to my Patreon page, which is a much better option that I probably should say first every time because it's so much better. Patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. It's so much a better effort. It's so much a better option for you that if you were to cancel your YouTube and move over to Patreon, it would be that much better. Anyway, I love and appreciate you very much. We need to brace ourselves for the eventuality of this kind of insanity to take place, because it's very likely going to. And I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.